Hello dear children, today we have to start a new chapter of civics, that is chapter number 17, the Union Executive. Okay, and what are the learning outcomes of this chapter? That what are the things that you are going to learn after studying this chapter are: first, qualifications and process of election of members of the Union Executive. First point, okay, that what are the qualifications needed and what is the process of election of members of the Union Executive, that is those members who are there, the body of the Union Executive. So what qualification do they need to be member of it, and what is the process of election of members of these Union Executive? And second point that you are going to learn is powers and functions of the executive, that what are the powers and what are the functions of the members of the Union Executive. And third thing that you are going to learn is that roles and responsibilities of the cabinet and council of minister, that what are their roles, what do they do, and what are their responsibilities of the cabinet and the council of minister. So these things you are going to learn in this chapter, the Union Executive. Now we shall have the explanation paragraph wise. First, this one. The three organs of Indian government are the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. So this we had learnt in the previous chapter, the Union Legislature, that what are the three organs of the Indian government. So that is legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. While the legislature makes the law, it is the responsibility of the executive to implement the laws. Okay, so we had also learned that what is the work of the legislature. Legislature formulates the law. Formulates means makes the law. Okay, so it is the responsibility of the executive to implement the law, that whichever law is made by the legislature, same laws are implemented by the executives. Okay, and the executive in India consists of president, the vice president, and the prime minister and his council of ministers. So it is very very important, so that this question usually comes. And what is that the executive in India consists of, that who are the members of the executive in Indian government. So this could be asked. So what you have to write is that executive in India consists of the president, the vice president, the prime minister, and his council of ministers. So these are the members who form the executive, and they form the political executive. They form they form the political executive, and they are assisted by a team of civil servants who form the permanent executive. Okay, then you can see this diagram here. It is given clearly that executive body of government. Now who are the members of executive body of government? So first is president, and then vice president, and then prime minister and council of ministers. So these four make the executive body of Indian government. And then after this we shall study about the president. Okay, that president, what is his qualification, and that is what qualification does one have in order to be a president of Indian government, and then, or we can say, of our country. So qualification, what is qualification needed, and then how the election takes place, and what are the powers and functions of president. So all these things we will read now. Now after this, the president. The president is the head of the state of India and commander-in-chief of the Indian armed forces. He or she is the constitutional head in whose name the administration of the country is run. However, he or she has only nominal powers. Now what is given? The president is the head of the state of India. Very very important, that who is the head of the state of India and commander in chief? It is the president. Okay, and Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Armed Forces. It is President who is Commander-in-Chief of the Indian Armed Forces, and it is the President only who is the head of the state of our country, that is India. So he or she is the constitutional head, okay, in whose name the administration of the country is run. That is, all the administration of the country is run uh, under the observation of the president. And then, however, he or she has only nominal powers. That is, though he has only nominal power, that means there is not much powers he has. The real powers of administration by are vested with the Prime Minister and his or her Council of Ministers. So what is given? That the real powers of administration are vested with the Prime Minister. That is, more powers are with Prime Minister and his or her Council of Ministers. The President is bound to follow their advice. That is, President is bound to follow the advices, whichever advices are given to him by Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. That is, President alone cannot take any kind of decisions. Always he has to take advice from Prime Minister and his Council of Ministers. Then the official residence of Prime Minister of India is Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. Very, very, very important. It's a very common question that is asked sometimes and children fail to answer, that where is the official residence of the President of India? It is Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. Okay, now next is qualification. That what are the qualification required for a person to be a president of country? So first is that to be the President of India, a person must be a citizen of India. It is very important that the person should be a citizen of India. And then second is that be at least 35 years of age. That is, a president should be at least of 35 years of age. That is, if a person is of 35 years of age, then only he can be a president. Then have all the qualifications required to be a member of the Lok Sabha. That whatever qualifications were there required for a person to be the member of Lok Sabha, same are the qualification required for the person to be a president. Okay, now next is election. That is, how election takes place in case of president. That is, who elects the president. So that is given, that the President of India is indirectly elected by an electoral college comprising the elected members of both the houses of parliament and the state legislative assemblies. So what is given? The President of India is indirectly elected by an electoral college comprising the, now that is, elections are done, and who takes part in this election, in this election committee? That is, the elected members of both the houses. Both the houses means Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. That all the elected members of the Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, so they take part, and the state legislative assemblies who are there, so they also take part, and all together election is held and they elect their president. Okay, now after this, the term of the president is 5 years. That is, what is the term? That how long a president can remain on his post? It is 5 years. And however, the parliament can impeach him or her for violation of the constitution, corruption or treason. That is, if any of the president is found to be guilty, or if any president is found to violate means, that is, not following the rules or the laws of the constitution, or if he is found involved in corruption or treason. Treason means deshdrohi. That is, if he has done something wrong with the country, if he is found in such cases, then he can be removed from his post. Okay, and who can do so? Parliament can do. Now, after this, next point that we have to study is powers and functions of the president. Now, the powers of the president are classified into the following groups. First is executive, military, legislature, and just a minute. Executive, military, legislative, financial, and judicial, emergency, and discretionary. Okay, so these are